Okay, welcome to week two. We are going to start off by talking about Gmail. Everything in here is pretty short and sweet with Gmail because we went super in depth into Gmail with level one. So we've got three tasks that we're going to cover or skills. So our first one's going to be doing email templates. Our second is going to be learning how to look at and really tell what some of those advanced features are that you can utilize to help your effectiveness in Gmail, and then also talk about filtering. So I'm going to jump over to my email. I have not done a very thorough look through my inbox. So if you see something alarming, just try to ignore that. Okay. So email templates is something that I do actually utilize a pretty good bit. It is something that is very is a big time saver. So I do highly recommend setting those up if you have not already. So how we can tell if you've got email templates turned on, if you are going to compose a new message, go to your three dots and you should see templates. If you do not, let me show you where to turn that on. I'm going to come here and go to my settings, see all settings, advanced, and templates should be enabled. We're going to come back to these settings just here in a little bit too, but we'll go ahead and go back to templates. So all settings, the advanced tab, and templates should be enabled. So going to come back over here to this. Now the key to a template is that you are going to need to type out your email that you want to make a template of first. Also in your template, it is going to save every piece. So that includes your email signature. So I'm going to go ahead and save you a little bit of trouble and tell you to delete your email signature. And I'll show you why here in a little bit. So if this is a test email that I want to save, I'm going to come over here to these three dots and I'm going to go to templates and tab over and say save draft as template. You have a choice here if you want to overwrite any of your current templates or save a new one. I'm going to put test email and now my template is saved. So then whenever I come back into my inbox and I want to compose a new email, and let's say I'm going to use that template, going to come over here to these three dots, templates, test email, and it's going to throw everything in there. You don't have to put a recipient on your template. I should point that out, I guess, because your recipients are not going to be filled in. One thing that I love is that this does save your subject line. Let's just show you some of the other templates that I use mine for. One is for that dreaded know before password reset. So something on this template right here that I will show you is that I had my email signature on here twice because I saved my email signature, so I have to delete it every time. So I really probably should fix that. You know what? I'm going to do that right now while we're in here. Gonna just take all that off. Template, save draft, know before password reset, and it's gonna save over everything that I already have. So templates is just gonna be a time saver if it's an email that you were setting up that you know you're gonna send over and over and over again. Sometimes, I have information that I have to send to every school, but it needs to be specific to every school. So that would be a time that I could use a template too. Just a little side note of one things that is kind of neat to use for templates. I'm going to show you an example of something too. I have one down there that's a new hire template. So during the summers when we are hiring people left and right, I have a template for me to be able to send their paperwork to them. Now, one thing that is true about that is that you cannot save attachments as a template. So whenever we come in here, you can hyperlink things though, but if I have this new hire paperwork, I have to remember to go back and attach that information. So just a little FYI about that. But another thing I did too is that I went into Google Docs and I created with my building blocks through my at sign an email draft. I have all of those things drafted. So if you like have a really, particular email you need to send, or if you need something you need to make sure you spell check and do a bunch of details in, you can actually draft that in Docs. And this is saved right here. And all you have to do is click that blue button and it is going to open up that email. This is opening in a new window. So I'm not 100% sure you're going to be able to see it, but that blue button right there just pushes it over to a new email. So that's pretty cool. So you can either make templates in Docs and then save them in Gmail, or just make them directly in Gmail. Okay, activate advanced features. So just to back all the way out, I'm going to go to my settings gear, see all settings, and go over to advanced. So there are four advanced features. I have two enabled and two disabled, so that's just my personal preference. Auto advance means it shows the next conversation in your inbox as soon as you make an action with your current conversation. I have this disabled, and I will tell you why. I do not recommend doing that because if you need to leave some messages unread to remind yourself to come back to them later, if you do auto advance, it's going to go ahead and read that next message, and I could see where you could skip things. So that's just something that I leave disabled. Templates we already discussed. Keyboard shortcuts, I think if you enable that, you then have to specify certain keyboard shortcuts that you want to use. This would just be like keyboard shortcuts to compose an email, archive an email, delete an email, things like that. I just do it by clicking the old-fashioned way. And then the last setting is the unread message icon. So right up here in my bar, for my internet or like in the browser frame, you'll see my little Gmail icon and I have a number one. So that will tell you how many messages you have unread in your inbox. Don't panic though, it stops at 20. So if you have more than 20, it just says 20 plus. So that's just another little way. I leave my messages pinned a lot. I leave my email pinned all the time. So then I can kind of see if there's something new in there or not. So that is the advanced settings. Filtering, we talked about this a little bit in Google Bootcamp 1 that is also in our settings. Filtering can be really helpful whenever you receive a bunch of emails from the same place. For example, I have all of my ALIT thread emails are filtered to go directly to this folder right here on the left. They go over there and stay unread. So they skip my inbox and go straight to that. A lot of administrators have commented that they are doing this with their routing forms for professional development so that they're all in one place and they don't get lost in their inbox. A filter can be a little tricky to set up. You need to have some information like where it's coming from and things like that. So let's just say I'm going to make a filter from Nick. I'm going to create a filter so that anytime a message comes from him, I have some options. I can choose where it skips the inbox and it archives. I also can say it's going to go to a certain label every time. I do have a label for him. I can delete it. I can say I want to send a template to him every time he emails me. Always mark it as important, never mark it as important, mark it as read, star it. So this kind of helps you be able to flag important messages that come in from various people. So that's all that a filter does. It can help you kind of keep a streamlined inbox if you would choose to, or it can help you make sure that you have certain things highlighted that you need to see. There are some little test ideas in the slide deck that is enclosed in your Google Bootcamp, and that is all I have for Gmail.